What's going on, Lions fans? Welcome back. Detroit 10-3-1-3. Steve here. First, got to start out with the bad news of the honey badger, the money badger, I should say, not the honey badger. Close enough. Michael Badgley out for the season. Did something to his leg, foot. I don't know exactly what the injury was, but he's out for the season. So that Jake Bates signing is really looking like an absolute home run that Brad Holmes just strikes again. Just keeps on trucking. But I just wanted to address that real quick. I'm not going to dive into that this episode. I'm talking about a guy who's really just been turning heads all preseason, all training camp so far. I know it's still early, but what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing about Jahmyr Gibbs is just something that it just gets me excited, man, to just take this offense to the next level. I want to talk about Jahmyr Gibbs, and a question to you guys. I want you guys to leave it in the comments. Can he be the third running back in history to go for 1,000 yards receiving and 1,000 yards rushing? The only two other running backs that have done it, Christian McCaffrey, Marshall Faulk. Can Jahmyr Gibbs be the third? I think he's got all the talent. I think he's got all the talent in the world to accomplish this. And I know we kind of talked about, could DeAndre Swift be that type of running back? And Swift just couldn't stay healthy. Not sure. I'm not 100% sure Swift wanted to be in Detroit either, if we're being honest. So I'm not sure. We've talked about this, had this conversation with another Detroit running back very recently. And Swift, let's have it right now with Jahmyr Gibbs. Can he stay healthy? He hasn't shown me that he's injury prone or that he can't stay healthy. Does he have all the skills to accomplish this? Yes, he does. Does he have a little work to do? Yes, he does. The only work I think he really needs is to really just kind of tone up that passing attack. What's he doing to do that this year? Staying after practice, working on his route tree. He was in an interview the other day after practice. I can't remember who it was with, but kind of saying that him and some other guys have been staying after practice and just kind of working on their route trees as a receiver. There's different routes that receivers can run that running backs run. And Jahmyr Gibbs said it perfectly. He said running backs only have about 5-6 routes that they run, whereas in the NFL, wide receivers have 10 to 12, just depending. So he's really just trying to master his craft in the passing game. And I've been saying it all preseason or all offseason. You can go back to the end of the game last year. I don't think we've even scratched the surface with Jahmyr Gibbs and what he can do in the passing game. I think he's going to be a focal point. I think he's going to be a weapon. You put him out wide with Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jamison Williams, Sam Laporta at tight end, and David Montgomery in the backfield. Like, find me any combination of defensive backs and linebackers that are going to cover Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jamison Williams, Sam Laporta. Find me 4 on a roster that you can say is going to lock down all 4 of those players with an elite offensive line in front of Jared Goff that's going to give him time to throw the ball. And Jared Goff is absolutely deadly when he has time. When he's not under pressure, Jared Goff's the best quarterback in the NFL. You won't change my mind on that. I'd like to see Jahmyr just used it in that type of way. Like, I want to see him playing a little bit of slot receiver. If that means less Khalif Raymond, no disrespect. I just think it needs to happen occasionally to keep a defense on its toes. I want to see more usage. I want to see some slot game. I want to see some motion into the slot. I want to see a lot of different things that Jahmyr Gibbs can be used to do. And I've referenced this before. A couple years ago when we played the Miami Dolphins, I had never seen a team motion more than the Miami Dolphins. Motion just kind of creates a little havoc, creates a little eye candy, gets you looking left. We're going to hit you on the right. Look right with motion. I'm going to hit you on the left. It's just kind of creating a little chaos, a little confusion. Especially they like to do it with Tyreek Hill. So could the Detroit Lions possibly steal a little bit of that creativity from the Miami Dolphins and use Jamison Williams in motion more, Jahmyr Gibbs in motion more? Absolutely. I truly don't think there's a secondary that is equipped right now to handle those 4 players on the field at the same time. I think it would just absolutely be unstoppable. I don't know how you would even try to defend that. I mean, the only thing that I've noticed with Jahmyr Gibbs as a rookie last year is there was one guy who played defense against him really, really well. And I don't like to admit it, but I'm trying to be realistic. I'm a realist fan here. Quay Walker of the of the Green Bay Packers had two very good games against Jahmyr Gibbs and Fred Warner for the 49ers as well. They were kind of smothering Jahmyr Gibbs at times, mainly Quay Walker. And I'll say this, if you guys don't believe me, go check the tape. Trust me, it's painful to watch. I don't want to watch our guys get kind of, I don't want to say shut down, but they were limited. Jahmyr Gibbs was limited going against Quay Walker. And the one thing about Quay Walker, I'll say, he was very good against Jahmyr Gibbs, but he makes those mental mistakes that have benefited the Lions in the past with some dumb penalties. So I'm being firm but fair here. But I think that if you line Jahmyr Gibbs up in the slot receiver or any type of receiving position, I think he's just a tougher mismatch for a corner who doesn't run, maybe a corner who's probably running like a 4.5. Jahmyr Gibbs has said that, at the combine, he ran a 4.36, something like that. He said, I've ran a 4.26. That is, we're talking one of the fastest guys in the NFL. Xavier Worthy of the Kansas City Chiefs just set the combine record with like a 4.21. So if Jahmyr Gibbs is running a 4.26, that kind of just goes to show you what kind of company he's in. Like, he's in the elite of the elite when it comes to 40-yard speed. So I don't know what it is about Quay Walker. I haven't really dove into the tape or the X's and O's or all the fine stuff about that. It's just kind of remembering and watching those games in person and rewatching them later on at night when I'm at home, and I can kind of sit back and enjoy it a little bit more, especially after the win. Quay Walker he just played good against Jahmyr Gibbs. You just got to tip your cap. This is the NFL. The other team has great players too. I think we have the best roster, but there are some guys that just kind of create a little bit of problems for us, and Quay Walker might be one of those guys. That's fine. That's not to say that Amon-Ra Brown's going to get shut down. That's not to say that Sam Laporta is going to get shut down, Jameson Williams, or our running game. Like, you're talking about one aspect in a game where we can dominate you in a lot of other ways. So I'm not worried about it. I'm just kind of giving kudos to Quay Walker. So kind of a shorter episode today, guys. I just wanted to talk about Jahmyr Gibbs. He's really stood out to me personally when it comes to training camp stuff. I love the work that he's putting in. Diving into the 1,000 and 1,000, can he do both receiving and rushing? To me, it really doesn't matter. I would like to kind of just keep him fresh throughout the season. Let's try to limit the, I don't want to just put him out there, and I don't think Dan Campbell or Ben Johnson would ever even do this. Like, I don't think it's on their radar. They're not going to put him out there just to get the record or make him the third player to accomplish this goal. And to me, as a fan, would it be fun to watch? Yes, but the NFL season's long, so I'd rather have Jahmyr Gibbs fully healthy down the stretch, playoff time, going into a Super Bowl run. That's what's more important to me as a fan, or as someone who's really kind of dedicated himself to kind of diving into the game a little bit more, trying to get better at my own craft and just mastering kind of some things that I'd like to see. But from a fan standpoint, it would be absolutely wonderful to see. But for the longevity of the season, let's just try to get like 1,200 rushing yards. Let's try to get 10 touchdowns on the ground. Passing wise, I want to see more. More is pretty much just a step up from what we saw last year. So I'm not asking for anything crazy. So leave it in the comments, guys. Can Jahmyr Gibbs be that 1,000 and 1,000 yard back? Stick around. Hit that like button, guys. I'll be back later with another show.